What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, I absolutely love when stuff like this happens because a brand new Twitter scoopster who we just started covering for Avengers Doomsday has apparently had one of his most recent scoops confirmed officially by someone from Marvel now, just days after he posted the scoop. And where we were thinking that Avengers Doomsday wouldn't pick up on additional principal photography until after the 1st of 2026, apparently they started weeks ago. We're going to break down this latest official confirmation, who was on set of Avengers Doomsday, and how it pseudo confirms one of the industry insiders that we just covered within the last week. We're breaking it all down, this official reveal for Avengers Doomsday. But first, I want to tell you guys about an opportunity to meet me, say hi, and check out my band. We just announced a brand new All Fires show on November 15th, just over a month away, in Tampa, Florida at Dunedin Brewery's Moon Tower. So if you're in the greater Tampa or Orlando area, if you want to come by and say hi and check us out, tickets are extremely limited. I'll leave a link down in the description and the comments. Again, I'd love to meet you guys when we're out playing live shows. Doors are open at 7:30. I'll be hanging out at the venue. Come by, say hi, check out the band. It's a great time. And again, tickets are cheap, only $15, but extremely limited. So grab your tickets early and I'll see you in Tampa on November 15th. Link in the description and comments. Okay, well, some of you may have forgotten because we're years out at this point. Director Nia DaCosta, who did The Marvels, had earned a reputation, especially with some of the reports coming out of Marvel Studios, of being quote-unquote combative, rather ruffling feathers with the things she would say or the things she would do, and we'll get into some examples of that during this video. However, when asked about this in her most recent interview, which was published yesterday, in an attempt to downplay that sort of combative reputation that she earned, she said, well, I still have a great relationship with the people over at Marvel. In fact, I was on set of Avengers Doomsday within the last 2 weeks, and in fact, it was Kevin Feige, she remarked, that helped write a letter to get her UK visa. And again, to be clear, while she didn't offer any other details about why she was on the set of Avengers Doomsday, it was specifically in sort of her offering a defense. Look, I still have working relationships with my past jobs. That's just a reputation or just stories that were spun around the projects that I've previously done. That being said, if you remember from just 2 days ago, industry insider James Mack, a brand new anonymous Twitter scoopster to the scene who's shown up right around Avengers Doomsday, hence not having a track record yet, actually scooped that Monica Rambeau was on set and filming for Avengers Doomsday. The last time we saw Monica Rambeau was under the direction of Nia DaCosta at the end of the Marvels. And so, in the same way that they've brought in a ton of the top talent, writers and directors, etc., on the sets of previous Avengers films to help with the consult, make sure there's a continuity there and it feels the same as from the movies they're coming from, now you have the director being confirmed to be on set alongside this Twitter scoop that Monica Rambeau was on set as well. Okay, so some big takeaways here. Obviously, when the Marvels post-credit scene came out almost 2 years ago, the Russos were not announced or confirmed for Avengers Doomsday. So while they've directed the post-credit scene for both the Thunderbolts and the Fantastic Four, that couldn't have been an option when the Marvels came out, meaning Nia DaCosta most likely did that post-credit scene. And in the details we got from industry insider James Mack, he indicated they were actually shooting an extension of that scene. Now, I recommend you go back and watch our video because that sort of opens a can of worms of questions that we had to try to answer in that video. But regardless, now getting a confirmation that Nia DaCosta was there to possibly consult on the extension of that post-credit scene means that the Marvels are most likely in this film. On top of Monica Rambeau, I think we can assume that Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel will be joining the fray. And on top of that, the small takeaway is, I think we can start to put a little more stock and reverence in James Mack WL scoops because now we're getting an official source pseudo-confirming what he had already said from just days ago. Now, on another level, I am very surprised to hear this because, as I mentioned just moments ago, some of you may not remember the exact nuance in the fallout during the press junket after the Marvels came out. The comments Nia DaCosta was making, it did not paint a picture of a harmonious relationship. Actually, pretty much the opposite, and there were several examples of this. First of all, Nia DaCosta actually left during the post-production phase of the film to go work on her next project. She said, and it was reported that Marvel Studios was aware of this conflict and that there would be some scheduling problems during post-production, but it was also reported that Marvel Studios was none too impressed with the fact that during post-production, she just took off. Right around that same time too, she actually skipped a pre-screener of the Marvels with the cast and crew instead to attend her own birthday party, which I don't really have an opinion on, but, look, honestly, people are going to take things the way they take things. If people were expecting her to be there, if it was expected she would be a part of that pre-screener, and instead she went out to her own birthday party, I don't have a problem with that. You can just see how professionally maybe some of her colleagues and her bosses, again, weren't with it. Another thing that happened was she actually blamed the script in really close proximity to the movie coming out and bombing. She blamed a quote-unquote lack of a solid script basically for all of the movie's problems. Now, this one you have to give her a little credit because everyone across the board has come out, especially during Multiverse of Madness, where one of the actors actually said there were 21 rewrites. Michael Waldron's confirmed this. We know this is Marvel Studios' MO, and that could be extremely frustrating to a lot of artists who are in the director's chair and want to have control when you've constantly got to consult and do movie by committee with the rest of the Marvel brass, who technically aren't the directors or the writers and didn't give her a solid script going in. Again, the frustration was there, but you just don't expect it to be voiced the way that it was and by the director on the film after the movie comes out and bombs. Anyone looking at that would say, well, I guess she's not working with Marvel again, and here we are hearing that she was just on set. Now, you guys don't need to freak out. She was not directing. The Russos would be in charge of that, but I think it was simply, hey, come out, see what we're doing. We're getting to your part of the Marvels and integrating those characters. Maybe come out, give us some feedback, see how things are going, just basically get an overview of it. And if she has some feedback or input about continuity or the way that they would talk or the things they would do, something that happened during the film, she could offer that at that time. I do not think she's going to have a huge hand in the movie. Really, none of the people who consult do. They're just bringing in more eyes and ears, getting more suggestions. Again, this is Marvel Studios' whole movie by committee, and this was the same thing that led to the frustration that was very obviously displayed by Nia DaCosta in the first place. Now, I don't want you guys to get it twisted because you know I'm just reporting this stuff down the line, but my own opinion on this is that I'm surprised we don't hear from more directors in the rearview mirror with this level of frustration. And this is why when you look at who they've been hiring as a director throughout the Multiverse saga, it's been relatively new names, people who aren't established in the industry so that they don't have as much experience, so that they can't reach the level of frustration that, say, Nia DaCosta did when you go in to make a Marvel movie and all of a sudden you realize that you're not really the director, you're just somewhere on the totem pole underneath the top brass at Marvel trying to get the movie they want made. And I think the more seasoned you are as an artist, or especially as a director, the more you're used to having the reins and being able to control the film that's being made. And so again, I'm just saying I can empathize, and I'm surprised we don't hear from more directors in the rearview mirror on just how frustrating this process can be. And that's what I think led to all these stories. She was just simply being human and talking about her experiences, negative or positive, and people took that to mean, myself included, that perhaps she didn't end on the greatest terms with Marvel, which seems absolutely not to be the case. Plus, let's face it, the Marvels were facing down that pervasive little corner that seems to infiltrate every industry, where you get an overwhelmingly negative, again, very small part of the population of the fandom that wants to just be the loudest, making it feel like it's the entire fandom when it's not. And the Marvels were facing that for months leading up, where people just didn't want to see that movie succeed. It hit Disney Plus less than 6 months later, and the narrative on the movie completely changed, where people were saying, hey, this was actually pretty good. It had its faults. It also had its redeeming qualities. It was right in there around the time of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Marvel Studios was not at full force. So there were a lot of things working against this anyway, and I don't think all in all, it was completely fair to say that Nia DaCosta was the problem. In fact, her frustration is probably what led to a lot of these reports near the end there, where she's like, screw it, I am not going to a screening with the cast and the crew. I've had enough of this. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below. And really, the more exciting part of this video is that we can start giving a little more reverence to James Mack, because here we are hearing that some of his information from earlier last week is sort of pseudo being confirmed. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below, how you feel about any and all of this. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, still giving away PS5s. The next one's for Wonder Man. All you got to do, be a sub, leave a comment, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. Hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on to keep up with the videos. And of course, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. Also, quick reminder, my band is in Tampa on November 15th. Tickets are limited and already starting to sell. There's a link down in the description and the comments. I'll also be doing a casual meet and greet when doors open at 7:30. Hope to see you there. Grab your tickets early. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.